Yeah, that's what was so great about doing Seinfeld, actually, is that we were having so much fun, and then other people were digging it. It was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is so cool.
That can be better.
Yeah.
Was Saturday Night Live like that?
No.
It was awful.
In a word, no.
No.
No, it wasn't.
Aside from possessing tremendous natural instinct, great comedic actors all have one thing in common. They become great by studying the greats. A funny character isn't always about the writing. It's about how the performer brings them to life. How do they pronounce certain words?
Oh my God!
How physical are they?
You better fight back, Megan. You better learn to fight, because life will. Yeah, life is gonna unlife, and I'm gonna bite you in the ass.
What kind of facial expressions?
It's so tasty, too.
Are they able to improvise?
Yes! 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 Oh! 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 Oh, God.
And in the world of television comedy, they don't come much better than Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Often compared to all-time greats, such as Lucille Ball and Mary Tyler Moore, in the modern era, no one has had more commercial and critical success. It's no coincidence she's the only cast member to break the so-called Seinfeld curse. So let's take a closer look. Julia got her start at Second City, the renowned improvisational theater group, and at the tender age of 21 was offered a role on Saturday Night Live. She admits it wasn't the happiest time for her.
I came to SNL at the age of 21. I was unbelievably naive. I had really done very little professional theater, only Second City and practical theater in Chicago. I had no idea about this business of show. It was a very male-dominated, male-centric environment there, in addition to the fact that everybody was completely high on any drug that they could get their hands on. And I had no idea. I learned quick. It was not exactly what I thought it was going to be.
But she did learn a lot about the business and got to observe and work alongside big names, such as Eddie Murphy, Billy Crystal, and Martin Short.
You went to Northwestern University.
Yes, I did.
Let me just see this.
Yeah, put those on.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
those are attractive.
Thank you very much. I love it. And you met your husband there.
I did.
The wonderful Richard Louis Dreyfus.
No, that is not my husband.
He's not your husband.
No.
She also got to know a certain writer called Larry David. The two future heavyweights bonded over their misery on the show. And of course the friendship helped in her getting cast in Seinfeld several years later. Because, as the kids like to say, game recognizes game. And aside from looking up to Lucille and Mary, she was also influenced by the likes of Madeline Kahn.
Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated her so much. It flames.
Terry Garr.
What knockers.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Cloris Leachman.
Did you know that Lars has a neurotic fear of swallowing hair?
And what Julia has in common with all of them is that on one hand, she's not afraid to flaunt her looks. And on the other hand, she's not afraid to make herself look stupid and unattractive. As she explained in an interview, there's a lot of risk that you must take as an artist, and you even have to do things that are frightening because they may not work out. You really have to be willing to step into the danger zone. So, shall we talk about Seinfeld? Yeah, let's talk about Seinfeld. We all know about Seinfeld.
Yada, yada, yada.
I don't want to talk too much about the show itself. The focus here is on Julia and her performance, which earned her an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and multiple SAG and American Comedy Awards. She shaped much of the character herself, including her signature. The rhythms of a studio audience sitcom are very different to sketch and theater performance. And her natural improv skills didn't go to waste either. For example, in this scene, she and Jason Alexander worked it out for themselves.
You want a Christmas card? You want a Christmas card? All right, here. Here's your Christmas card.
Again, the show was a learning curve.
I learned so much that I learned about comedy, I learned more about timing. It was just more training in performing and more training in, frankly, even producing. I didn't produce Seinfeld, but I watched.
After the mega success of the Seinfeld show, Julia made memorable appearances on the likes of Arrested Development, playing a lawyer, pretending she was blind, then really losing her sight, then regaining it, then saying she was pregnant, even though she wasn't. You just know she had lots of fun in this role. She was also in Curb Your Enthusiasm with her old friend, Larry.
Taking her to a birthday party, and she said she never went to the birthday party, so I thought that was interesting.
Do you also find it interesting that, in fact, I have 2 daughters, Grace and Mary? I took Mary to the birthday party.
She also starred in and produced the sitcom, The New Adventures of Old Christine. Although the show was canceled after 5 seasons, Julia earned praise for her performance and won another Emmy. Remember what I said about not being afraid to flaunt her looks, nor make herself look stupid.
Is that the bra from the lost and found at the gym? Nobody claimed it. You're nasty.
But Julia's greatest post-Seinfeld success is Veep, the critically acclaimed HBO comedy where she really lets loose in her performance and has earned her 6 consecutive Emmys, becoming the first actress to win the award for 3 different shows. But don't just take my word for it. Check this out.
Yeah. Hey, Mike!
Duchess is down. Duchess is down. Yellow, yellow. I repeat, Duchess is down. Go, Rick.
Oh, God, your face.
Is it bad?
No. Yes. Fine, ma'am. You're fine.
When she was pitched the idea for the show, Julia created her own complex backstory for the Selina character. This is what separates the true greats from the generic actors, as they want to bring the character to life and have a feel for them, rather than just regurgitate what's on the page. What is this character about? What makes them funny? How can I make them funnier? SNL, Seinfeld, The New Adventures of Old Christine, Veep. Julia just seems to get better and better. Always watching and always learning.
Any job is great training if you're paying attention as an actor. And that certainly was the case working on Seinfeld because, first of all, I was surrounded by these comic geniuses. You know, we were all working together and I think learning from one another. But really, honestly, I learned a lot watching Michael and Jason. And Jerry and Larry were incredibly hard workers and really killed themselves making this show. So I witnessed all of that. And I got a good understanding of what it meant to produce and what the value was in producing. And that's why in my subsequent jobs, I was always producing.
She has well and truly established herself as the most successful TV actress of her generation, and perhaps ever. And she makes it look easy. That's why she's
Queen of the Castle.